Hello, welcome one and all to another Syncretism, Geocentrism, and Tropical Astrology episode, number 6, with Santos Bonacci. Do we got you,
Thanks,
Santos?
yeah, brother. Thank you very much, man. Yep, we are having some technical problems here today, guys, but it's all good. I'll just plod along and just get the job done. I guess all we need to do is talk for an hour. If we can't get the mics going and for people to join us, then we will stop
Hello,
at the end.
welcome one and all to another Syncretism, Geocentrism, and Tropical Astrology episode, number 6, with Santos Bonacci. Do we got you, Santos?
Yeah, brother. Thank you very much, man.
Yep.
Yep. You'll have to mute. Technical problems here today, guys, but it's all good. I'll just plod along and just get the job done. I guess all we need to do is talk for an hour. If we can't get the mics going and for people to join us, then we will stop at the end.
Welcome one and all to another Syncretism, Geocentrism, and Tropical Astrology episode, number 6, with Santos Bonacci. Do we got you, Santos?
Yeah, brother. Yeah. Thank you very much, man.
Yep.
Yep.
Someone please mute.
Guys, but it's all good. I'll just Hallelujah. Okay. Thanks, guys. So this will be Syncretism, Geocentrism, podcast 6, I believe. Okay, 5 or 6. I've lost touch. So someone will have to fill that in the description. But this is all things syncretism, geocentrism, and tropical astrology. Those three are married at the hip, and forever will be. They always were, up until Copernicus 300 or 400 years ago, and the idiots who are spouting the stupidity of the globe and the spinning globe, which depends on gravity, which Tesla debunked, out and out debunked. No such thing exists. And by the way, if you want a good YouTube channel and resource for debunking gravity and all that buffoonery, go to Ken Wheeler's YouTube channel. Ken Wheeler, in my opinion, a genius. He doesn't think so. I love the guy. He's absolutely genial. And his YouTube channel is called Theoria Apophasis. So that would be Theria, Theoria Apophasis. Gee, I better write that down, guys, because it's pretty important. And pretty much the guy debunks gravity. Now, if he debunks gravity there, and relativity, and Monkey Man Einstein, and all of those ape-man idiots, he has the perfect and only explanation for how magnetism works in history. Well, that's what he claims, and I believe him. I've seen much of his work, and he's showing how magnetism is the controller of everything in the universe. And so if he debunks gravity...
Yeah, well, that guy is a magnetism genius.
And pretty much the guy debunks gravity. Now,
yep.
If he debunks gravity... Yep. So, thanks, Philip. Yeah, he is. And if he's debunked gravity, he's debunked the globe. Without him knowing it, I know he's not a geocentrist or a disc earther. That's fine. He will be one day. Absolutely everyone will be, as they were for millions and millions of years before Copernicus and Aristotle, the buffoon. So it's time for transcendental philosophy and wisdom to come back to the earth, and syncretism will bring it back. No doubt about that. And the materialists will be shamed for spouting and teaching ridiculous pseudoscience such as the Big Five, Big Bang, globe, monkey man evolution, monkey man gravity, hocus pocus bullshit that is. Oh God. What a religion of scientism, of buffoonery. All of them, you know, your Johann Oldenkamps and your Maxes and your Dannys. Oh yeah, they love gravity. Oh, gravity fixes everything. And relativity. Those five. Those are for monkey men. Those are for pseudoscientists and half-truthers, which I will debunk and knock off their soapboxes. And syncretism will do it. And so this is all news, all everything new syncretism. And what's been happening? Well, we do have a new syncretism Skype group, and I want to say to the general public that I'm going to start all over again with a new syncretism Skype group. It's not the one that is organizing this particular show today, but it will be a different one. It will be my own, and I will add people to it so that I can inform them on all things syncretism. This is the criteria to enter the group. What does it mean to be a syncretist? It's my job here to keep syncretism pure from defilement of pseudoscience and false teachings. First and foremostly, an eclectic or a syncretist serves and glorifies the Creator and is connected to Source. We give glory to the Creator. We are servants of the Creator and we serve truth. The Creator is truth. And so this is the criteria. If you are connected to Source and you love and cherish and adore the Creator and truth, you're welcome into the group. Secondly, the syncretists love, respect, and honor all sacred scripture. The Bible, Quran, Bhagavad Gita, Zendavesta, Srimad Bhagavatam, Ramayana, Mahabharat, all the Puranas, all the Upanishads, the Vedas, etc. These are holy writ. So if you respect Holy Writ and understand them to be syncretic and astro-theological in origin, and understand that it is literary transcendental history that we are dealing with, not mundane literal history, you're welcome in the group. And thirdly, syncretists are vegetarian/vegan and have no tolerance for swine eating or dog eating of any kind. And so why am I reiterating this? Well, because our last group of syncretism was defiled by swine eaters who pretend to be syncretists. This is what happens. They come in with sheep's covering, you know, wolves, ravenous wolves that want to pull people to the left and to the right because they want to destroy truth at every moment possible. Demons. And so I didn't qualify everybody that entered the group, which I will do in future. I ask everyone who wants to be invited into the group to write a short little reason why they want to enter the syncretism group. And that will be your qualification. I will take your word on that, and we will start a new group We had 100 or so in the other one, and of course some of the leadership in that group realized that there were swine eaters infiltrating and demon worshippers like Melanie Buffoon. And so what we need to do is keep it clean, guys. The standard must be, we must not tolerate the leaven of the Pharisees. Remember, Jesus said, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees. A little leaven ferments the whole lump. So syncretism needs to be pure, guys. It needs to be 100% pure. And so what happened was a couple of weeks ago, we started a new group. The leadership of the group realized that there was corruption there. And so we've got a nice, perfectly clean group of 13 individuals that are leaders in syncretism around the world. And I know these people personally, and I thank you for remaining pure and guarding syncretism with all your hearts. And so it will prosper and it will slay all the demons, all of them. They will all be vanquished through syncretism and eclecticism. So I thank you for that. But I want you also to join the new group that I will be making. And so people can contact me on Skype with a message with their Skype handle. Please always forward your Skype handle so that it makes life easy for me. All I do then is I add your Skype handle. You have to accept the friendship, then I can add you to the group. This group will be purely for syncretism, geocentrism, tropical astrology, and of course health, veganism, and all things truthful. And we must all keep the standard of syncretism pure from swine eaters and demon worshippers. Okay, and so the other thing with the old group was that I was accused of being a dictator. Truth dictates. I don't dictate anything. So to eliminate all doubt as to that position, I removed myself from the group so that I cannot be accused of false things. And I will not tolerate that, and I will not tolerate people who suggest such things. So omnia vincit veritas, and forever live the truth, guys. What else has been happening in the syncretism world? Well, I now have a co-writer for a book on syncretism. It will be called A Beginner's Guide to Syncretism. And Francesca Brunton, who I've known for several years now, is going to co-write that with me. She's in the UK. She came out for a visit a couple of weeks ago and spent a week here on the permaculture ashram we have here. And we spent many hours discussing how the book should be put together. And so she's gone back to the UK all armed and ready, and we should have a book by 6 months on syncretism, A Beginner's Guide to Syncretism. And so what that will do is that will introduce the subject and then open the door for many more volumes of syncretism, folks. And so I have full confidence in Francesca's ability. She majored in English in Cambridge, and she came to my presentation in 2013 in Hull. She travelled from York just to be there, and she'd only just known of my work months prior to coming. And she's a homeopath. She's very well versed in all of the holy sciences. She has been traveling to India and all over the world collecting syncretic information and wisdom, and she's well versed in herbs and crystals and all kinds of wonderful exotic sciences. And so the book will be in very, very good hands. Also, I'm very happy to announce that I have a I guess you could call it benefactor slash supporter slash funder of syncretism now, a Canadian gentleman named Robert, living in Indonesia, is offering to developed Syncretism, and so we now have media people, internet people, IT people working with me. We have begun to make a Syncretism astrological website. It will be an astrology website like no other in history. All the others will be left behind, and basically people will not be using any other astrological site other than our Syncretism astrology website. Why? I will explain. First and foremostly, we have registered the domain name of syncreticastrology.com. Mark that in your minds, folks. Write that down. Syncreticastrology, one word, .com. What will it do? Well, we've begun working on it, and it will be essentially, it will be like all other tropical Western astrological websites. For instance, AstroDent, AstroTheme, horoscopes within all of these free websites that are available on the internet. We will probably be using the same format because I like that. It's very, very clear to understand. But ours will be a supercharged site in that it will have all astrological syncretic wisdom and knowledge and information on it. What it will have is much more than the skeleton that all other sites are providing. You won't just be able to click on the icons. Say if you click on Jupiter in Pisces in the 12th house, it will tell you the face that Jupiter is in. It will tell you the terms that Jupiter is in. It will tell you the dodecatemorion. It will tell you if it's in special degrees. It will tell you the crystals that are Jupiterian in nature to enhance and strengthen that planet. It will tell you the meaning of it being in the 12th house. It will tell you the meaning of it being in the sign of Pisces. It will tell you the herbs. It will tell you the humours of Jupiter, whether he is hot or cold or dry or moist, the 4 humours. It will tell you the chant for Jupiter in Sanskrit, first and foremostly, then in all other languages. For instance, the chant for Jupiter would be Om Gurave Namaha, because Jupiter is Guru. Yes, Guru. Om Gurave Namaha. And so chanting that chant will strengthen his energy in your chart, and hence bring goodwill and bounteous energy to the chart should your Jupiter be weak. And these are just some of the things that this site will bring. We will also be able to progress the chart and see the daily and yearly transits of the chart, and it will also have all house systems. So you'll have equal house system, you'll have Placidus house system, and these are all great house systems. So you will you'll be well versed. It will be a teaching type of site. It won't just allow you to click on the icons and get fundamental information. It will allow you to get all information. It will syncretize all of the schools of astrology. Vedic astrology will also be included. I should correct that. Jyotish astrology will be included. So sidereal will be syncretized. We will not exclude this great and holy school, although first and foremostly it will be tropical. So when you do your reading, you can choose a sidereal reading, or you can choose a tropical reading. The Chinese system will be syncretized with it, and all others. So I'm reaching out to astrologers worldwide that can help, and we can form a hub, probably on Skype, where we can interchange and exchange information so that we can make this website once and for all. It will also have data from research and recorded information from hospitals to show how you know, we'll be inserting records to show how certain, say, medical data can affect the chart, for instance. So again, as I say, cell salt, Schussler tissue salt information will be on there. So when you click on Aries, you can learn that potassium phosphate is the tissue salt for Arians, and it will tell you what other salts that you need to take. It will show you how to read any weaknesses in the body. So for instance, if you have an opposition to Pisces from Virgo opposite, it will tell you that you're probably going to have a weak nervous system, probably neurasthenia, probably that you will have digestive systems as well, since Virgo is connected to the intestines and the digestive system. So you will have information knowing which extra cell salts other than the 3 native salts that you should take. It will give you information showing what other salts that you will need. Also, it will show all the degrees of illnesses so that you can see that your chart will be pointing to, say, eyesight weakness, hearing weaknesses, migraines, teething problems, or whatever, spinal problems, problems with blood pressure, etc. It's all in the chart, and this site will have all information. I promise you, it will have all information. There will never be a site like it in history. So I'd like to thank Robert publicly, and I want people all around the world to send good energy to Robert for coming forward, appreciating syncretism and its value, and realizing that it's time for the world to be absorbed in syncretism. Divide and conquer from Rome has had its day, guys. The demons dividing us and teaching us foul and disgusting, demented teachings such as meat eating and the tolerance of murder on this plane will come to naught. Will come to naught very soon. So rejoice, hold your heads up high. Good news is a coming, and it's only good news from now on, folks. So I am posting ferociously. Why? Because information is coming to me from all around the world, and it's the best of information. So please keep up, friends, please. I ask you earnestly, all syncretists, to be on my Facebook page daily and at least check what I am posting. Please keep up to date, please. Why? Because the best minds, the spiritual transcendental minds of syncretists around the world are supporting syncretism and sharing the best information. So you don't want to be left behind. Please don't be left behind. You'll end up being a dunce like Danny, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to be a Danny dunce. You want to be a syncretist and a transcendentalist, and you want to ascend. You want to send the oils rather than wasting them. These guys are seed wasters, and their lot is perdition in hell. And so you don't want that. You want to be in Vrindavan, and you want to be everlasting. These pseudoscientists are teaching temporal damnation. They are the blind leading the blind, and they cannot grasp syncretism. They don't have the mind. They have the animal mind. These are animals. And so we need to keep fresh with syncretism, keep abreast with the new information, and share it vigorously. Whatever is happening universally, I probably can't put my finger on it exactly, but I knew it was going to happen. Syncretism has lit a fire around the globe. When you search flat Earth and disk Earth on the internet, my name is at the very, very top. I'm so proud that Syncretism is leading the way in Geocentrism, and we're going to debunk these dumbass Newtonians and Einsteinians and Darwinians and Copernicans and Keplerians and Hegelians with their dialectic and bullshit, and Aristotelians. Basically, all of these morons come from the Aristotelian peripatetic materialist idiot school. They're materialists. They turn their backs on God, the Creator. They know not God. They are demented atheists, a la Richard Dawkins or Dick Dork. They are Jan Irwinans. Jan Irwin, idiot from Gnostic Media, bum eater, loves his swine, brags about it on his radio shows, and thinks the Trivium's going to save the world. These are materialists. They're all Aristotelian folks. This is why Plato had to get rid of that buffoon. Aristotle didn't go away and create a historical peripatetic materialist school for all the idiots who have followed that dunce. Plato kicked his sorry ass out of his transcendental school to honour Pythagoras and all the transcendentalists of history, those who are connected to Source and who love the Creator. All the Aristotelians deny the Creator. They are atheist swine. Swine. It's not me saying it, it's Bhagavad Gita saying it, and I'm with Bhagavad Gita. Thank you very much. So, time to put this school to rest. It's a demented school of idiots, like Einstein the idiot, Walter Russell, and Tesla debunked him. So did Ken Wheeler. Check out Ken Wheeler at Theoria Apophasis YouTube School. And let's debunk all the idiots who don't understand magnetism and the Creator. Shall we? Theoria Apophasis. I hope I've got that spelling right, but you'll get it. Just punch in Ken Wheeler and support that guy and get some clicks and get some shares going, folks. He is a syncretist. He doesn't know it yet, but he is a syncretist, and he will join the family as millions are all around the world. I'm getting emails from very appreciative people from all over the world, folks. All over the world, and it's out of control. I'm spending more than 8 hours a day just replying to emails. That's all I'm doing. Simply just replying to emails, and on Facebook and on Skype. The inquiry has increased exponentially. Every week it grows 50%. Every week. Weekly it is growing. Not and daily, hourly it is growing. And people are encouraging me, telling me that all they do is spread syncretism day in, day out. We will debunk the demons, guys. They are running scared. This is why all of these half-truthers are keenly listening to everything that Santos Bonacci has to say. Oh, aren't they? And within minutes, they've got some kind of a video trying to debunk me on the internet. But how's that going to happen, dear guys? Syncretism's back and it's here to stay. And so, what else is news? Well, Nate Diaz, the vegan, has absolutely smashed an arrogant, thug, meat-eating murderer called Conor McGregor. Murderer. Well, why? Because all meat eaters are complicit in murder, aren't they? They don't go to the abattoirs to see how these animals are suffering at the hands of dog-eating demon worshippers and the way they murder these animals. They don't go to the farms to listen to the cows that are crying all night long for their little calves that they've just given birth to, and they've been taken away to the abattoirs, trembling, shaking, crying. crying for their mothers and their mother's milk. And they are led to the abattoirs to be slaughtered so that they can have veal, these dog eaters, these filthy murderers, filthy-hearted, demon-worshipping, swine-eating meat eaters. And they cut their little pieces of veal, and ingest it. How sick, how demented demon worshippers are, really. Folks, embrace syncretism with all your heart. And as more sportsmen like Nate Diaz come forward and realise that meat eating is just pure filth, they will smash meat eaters everywhere. Meat eaters will not compare. Why? Because death begets death. When you eat corpse / cadaver / carcass, how can you perform? Of course a vegan's going to come and kick your butt and smash you to the ground, Connor, you loudmouth, arrogant thug, as all meat eaters are. You're thugs. Go to the abattoirs. Do yourself a favour and go and see those animals screaming when they get their necks cut, and then get butchered by animals and blood all over their faces. You have a look at those butchers with blood, animal blood all over their faces, and then they stick shit in that meat, preservative and all kinds of delightful smelling chemicals so that you can ingest it at your barbecues. Max Egan invited me to a barbecue 3 months ago. I was down in Melbourne. He says, "Oh, after my presentation, the organisers are going to have a barbecue. You're welcome to come." These are half-truthers out there everywhere organising presentations for other half-truthers to spew vomit in the airwaves, guys. Do you think I went to this barbecue, a holocaust of bleeding animal corpse? You think a syncretist would go to a barbecue, a holocaust? These demented idiots holding presentations for other idiots to vomit poo out of their mouths and flatulence? Johann Oldenkamp, swine eater, School of Science with holes in it. They're demented. Folks, they are demented. Please, open your eyes. Time for wakey-wakeys. Our teeth are for fruit. We can go to a tree and pick a banana and an apple without murdering a sentient being, without hearing the cries of help. Why are you murdering me? Meat cannot be digested in the human body. No wonder Connor got his ass kicked. He was bragging about knocking out Diaz within 4 rounds. Well, he got his head smashed to the ground within 2 rounds. Idiot moron. So excuse my passionate words against murderers, but when is the time going to come when we stop murdering? Unless we speak like this against these morons. These bacon and eggs for breakfast bum-eating types. Have we not had enough of blood shedding? Did not Pythagoras and Hippocrates and Leonardo da Vinci say that we will always be murdering our brothers whilst we are eating murder of animals? The corpses of dead carcass? What the hell's wrong with human beings? And I get these self-righteous pontificating idiots on Facebook writing to me telling me, who the hell made you God that you can tell people, you can say that it's disgusting to eat meat? No one did. I'm just repeating what God says and what all the prophets of the Creator who connected to Source have ever said. Pythagoras, Plutarch, Porphyry, Iamblichus, Da Vinci, Ficino, Pico, Bruno, and all of our great brothers who enlightened this world, not with darkness like Copernicus and his globe idiot theory, like I'm upside down now here in Australia, stuck to the ground by gravity, when there's dust particles and water vapors and butterflies that don't know anything about gravity and somehow are able to get off the earth and float around. Funny, these people. This is how demented you are when you eat meat. because everything else gets to be demented. Death begets death, and stupidity begets stupidity. So thank you for allowing me to vent this these feelings of disgust for the disgusting habits of human beings. Yes, they will, from one corner of their mouths, they will complain against the Zionists murdering people in Gaza, but from this side of their mouth, they participate and are complicit in murder. Yes, Max, murderer, act murderer. You're all murderers, half-truthers. Vincent Byrne at Hocus Pocus Radio, Robot Something Radio. Vincent Byrne, the idiot, the dunce who thinks he's spinning on a globe. Moron par excellence. These guys need to be shut down. We need to absolutely unsubscribe from their idiot radio shows. James Swagger, Jimmy Swaggart, you've heard of that, haven't you? Yeah. These are half-truthers and demon worshippers par excellence, and I'm not condemning them. They condemn themselves because they are swine eaters and half-truthers, telling people that they live on the globe when they have no proof and never have. No one has had any proof ever. In fact, we have proof, scientific proof, and only scientific proof that we live on a flat disk. Check Sagnac, check George Airy, Michelson-Morley, Michelson-Gale. These are experiments that were undertaken to prove that the Earth does not move at all, whatsoever, at all, whatsoever. So why don't these people understand and know these experiments? Why don't they know that Bhagavad Gita, which is the oldest book, and Ramayana, and hundreds of thousands of years old, speak of geocentrism? Where have they been? Haven't they read anything? Illiterate, unarticulated, cannot articulate a sentence. Have they not read any of these divine scriptures? All of them. We, the geocentrists, are supported 100% by all the scriptures. The Egyptians taught the Earth was a flat disk. The Mayans, the Chinese, it was all flat, up until Copernicus. All of it. We are supported by science, we are supported by the scriptures. We are supported by the Creator. So where are these monkey men with their theories? Copernicus himself said in Revolutions in 1543 that the hypothesis theory, the hypothesis of the movement of the Earth is conjecture and should not be taken as absolute truth. But of course all these educated idiots have gone one step further because they're idiots and claim that it is true and they have no proof. What are you gonna take the blue marble CGI images or the 1972 images from Apollo 13? The moon landers. These people believe we landed on the moon, these idiots. How can you land on a sonoluminescent transcendental body? The moon's not terrestrial. There's no rocks on the moon, nor are there any on Mars. These are archangels. They are demigods. They are heavenly places, heavenly spheres. We offend them with our stupidity. Read the astrologers to know that the orbs are called wandering stars, wandering planets, wandering gods. How can you go with a space rocket wrapped around in aluminium foil? How can you go in a lunar module wrapped in aluminium foil to the moon and collect rocks when there aren't any there? Have a look at the video Astronauts Gone Wild to see that the astronauts are lying dogs Freemasonic, Khazarian, lying dogs. Of course, they're swine eaters. They eat pig's bums. What, do you think you're going to get any truth from pig bum eaters? It's not going to happen, guys. Yeah, syncretism is forthright. Absolutely it's forthright because it's truth, absolute truth, and has no tolerance for half-truth stupidity. So have a look and see, guys, that these half-truthers, they're pretenders. Half asleep, half a sheep. Check out that dunce. If he's not a Freemasonic brown noser, what is? Check out the videos that they make, the lame, half-assed videos that they make trying to debunk syncretism. Just check it out and have a laugh. All they're doing is bringing more glory to syncretism because they show how stupid they are. And they publish their stupidity to the airwaves and to the internet so that it will go on record forever, and their books, their names shall be written in the book of shame forever and ever and ever. You'll see their names: Max, Illuminated, Marty, Johan, Jan, all of them. Seed wasters par excellence. You think they've got any idea how to save the seed and raise the Christic fluids? Mate, those guys are wasting at 100 miles an hour like a lizard, flat out like a lizard drinking. They're half-truthers, guys. Time to shut them up. Shut their radio stations. Capricorn radio station in Ireland needs to be shut down. Shut down totally. Anyone going there for an interview will be known as a moron. Anyone that goes on Vincent Burns' radio station will be known as a moron from now on. Syncretism will make sure of that. So, am I going to be tolerating any more of these half-truthers? No, not me. Because are we getting anywhere with being free from lies? Not really, because we support these clowns and we post their rubbish on Facebook so that they can spew their vomit all over the place. Time to shut them down, guys. And I would just be promoting syncretism left, right, and centre. Forget all the rest. They're all dunces. They're all materialists. We've got no idea. No idea. It's the blind leading the blind show. So, very happy to share all that latest news of syncretism, guys. It's growing by the day and will not be stopped. It will be furthered by good voices like yourselves, guys. So let's keep being forthright and denouncing the lies of syncretism. So if someone can jump in, I think we're up to question and answers time, but I don't think there's going to be that opportunity due to technical problems. If someone can jump in and let me know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't see any questions right now.
Great. Okay.
You can continue.
Well, I will. So let's have a look at what syncretism can do for us, folks. The glory of syncretism. Why has syncretism been persecuted? Why were Porphyry's astrological works destroyed by the Roman Catholic Church, which will be destroyed very, very soon, and will be vanquished, and all the pedophiles there in Rome will be in jail shortly? Well, what happens is when you get Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, the equator, and the sine wave. There's the sine wave, guys. So what we have here, this is the wave. Everything is wave. No particles, guys. That atomism, scientism, with, you know, quantum mechanics and all of that quantum physics bullshit, hocus pocus, demon worshipping, hocus pocus, honky shonky wonky, dodgy bodgy bogus pseudoscience of the Einsteinian idiots. No relativity. Don't buy into that dumb shit, guys. Don't buy into that. It's ridiculous. The day of your Richard Feynmans and your Einsteins and all these morons, they're finished. Everything is the wave, guys. And everything, if you look at everything as one wave, you will begin to understand everything. Once you understand that it is one wave, then you divide it into two. And you do this. That's positive, that's negative. When the sun is at the Tropic of Cancer, you have summer, hot. When the sun is at the Tropic of Capricorn, you have winter, cold. December 21, solstice. June 21, solstice. That's the wave, guys. So once you learn how to see it as one cycle, then you divide it into two. And now you've made your second step into wisdom. 1 is 2. This is the sine wave. The sin of Eve, Ave Maria. This is the sin of Eve, because once you have a vibration, once you have a material vibration, you are now out of the transcendental world, and you are in the world of sin, the sine wave, the sin of Eve. This is the apple that Eve eats from. The apple is the Apollo, the sine wave, the toroidal, hyperbolic, hyperboloid field that is generated from magnetism. As Ken Wheeler says, everything is simple, nature is simple, everything is simple. It's all magnetism. There is only one field. And this is it. And this is the sine wave. Wave is Ave Maria, who saves us. And so when you look at this wave as two things, then you begin to understand the material world. But foolish is the man who stops there. Most men stop here. That's all they can grasp. They don't go any further. They can't see 4 polarities, 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, or the fall, the autumn, winter. And so their minds remain in the materialist state. See Danny, Johan, Max, and all the other clowns. So what happens now is when you get to 4, then you begin to understand that the sine wave has 4 polarities, as Walter Russell said. You must understand 4 polarities, 4 poles. Let's see how we can work this out better. Oh man, that's a real crazy circle, that one. Well, Atum. All is Atum, said the Egyptians. This is Atum, because it's the atom wave, the atomic wave. The atom is not a particle, it's a wave. Atoms are waves. This is universal mind thinking. This is God thinking. The Creator thinks like this, and so do we, as you shall see. So what we have now is Science, true science, not pseudoscience, not that stuff that Jimmy and Vincent over there in Ireland are teaching from their radio stations. That will be shut down very soon. What happens now is there are also 8. Atum says in Egypt, I am the one that is 1, that becomes 2, that becomes 4, that becomes 8, after which I return to 1. Of course, the diseased materialist swine eaters will never understand this, but the transcendentalists will. This is the 1, it's 1 wave, then Atum becomes 2, hot and cold. Everything is hot and cold in the universe, guys. Everything. Everything is just hot and cold. Horus and Set, Jesus and Satan, etc., etc. Everything. And these are your cross-quarter days. So if you have spring over here and summer over here and autumn over here and winter over here, you also have the mid-season. This will be May the 1st, May Day. Over here you have August 1st, November 1st, Feb 1st or 2nd. So Groundhog's Day, Halloween, Loaf-Mass Day, May Day, solstice, solstice, equinox, equinox. This is the holy 8-spoked wheel. The Hindus call this the Dharma wheel. Dharma, would that be Adam, Atum, the wave? Yes, it would. Dham, the Dharma wheel. In South America, they call it the Chicana. This is the book of all books. This is science. This is true science, folks. This is how it works. But the transcendentalist doesn't stop with 8. The transcendentalist goes to 12. And once you go to 12, you have all the understanding you will ever need. So let's do that, shall we? One moment. So what we have now is we have the science of 12, the most sacred number of the universe. The science of 12, folks. So we go from 1, it's 1 wave, hot and cold, boy, girl, positive, negative, so-called. This is the 2-sex nature of the material world. This is Adam, and Eve, the wave. Ave Maria, because see, these are sea waves. Maria means water. Mare, the ocean. Marine, maritime, Mars, all having to do with water. So that's the waves of water. This is water. Everything is hydrogen. It's the water. The water's above, the water's below. So once you go from 2, and that's where the materialists stop. They cannot follow us. No materialists understand astrology. They do not understand this. They are materialists. That's why they believe, oh, we need to eat meat. We're meat eaters. We're carnivores. Of course, they learnt that from demons in their demonic institutions and churches that love bloodshedding because they lust for carcass and corpse and cadaver and all sorts of shit to eat. It's very sad, the world. It's very, very sad. And look at them. Half of them are obese. Half of them have got every disease under the sun. They've got piles, they've got diabetes, they've got asthma, rheumatism. Oh, and they'll kill you if you suggest that veganism might be an alternative. Oh no, I didn't get obese like this due to veganism. I got fat like a beach whale because I ate carcass. All they're doing is collecting poo. Their intestines are full of poo. Why do you think people are obese? Because they're full of poo. You don't see any obese vegans. You will never see an obese vegan because they don't collect poo, dead poo. For God's sakes, you need to wake up. So we now have two things. But Atum says 2 becomes 4. So we have 4 polarities. And 4 becomes 8. In South America, the indigenous people called the 8-spoke wheel the chacana. Ana. Ana is fire, anagogic. Chacana means the chi energy of fire in the 8-spoke wheel, because this is how energy expresses. And so everything then becomes 12. And you have over here March the 21st, and over here September 23rd, Judgment Day. This is why you always see that number 23, because that is Judgment Day. It's called Atonement Day, At-One-ment Day. This is Tishri of the Jews. Tishri, Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah. Rosh meaning the head. Hoshana means the year, the head of the year, because the head of the year is here for the Jews, the secular year. The start of their year, Nisan, is here, of the sacred year. Secular year, Tishri. Sacred year, Nisan. And so Nisan is Aries, the Lamb of God. By the way, Nate Diaz was Aryan. Don't mess with Aryans, man, and vegan Aryans. Don't mess with them. Thomas H. Burgoyne in The Light of Egypt, The Science of the Soul, Volume 1, Science of the Soul and the Stars, Volume 1, said, all things being equal, Aryans are the strongest, the most combative, and the most perfect in health. And he said this is why in ancient times parents would... Yeah. Did someone just interject there? Okay, this is why he said in ancient times the astrologers would get parents to conceive in Cancer, at the Tropic of Cancer, and have their children born in Aries, so that they would be strong in health and vigorous. So good on you, Nate. Thank you for showing the world that the vegan way is the only way. Aries, the Lamb of God. Taurus, this is fire, cardinal fire. Now, I'm not going to go into all the modalities and all the elements of this. I'll put them down just briefly, and then we're going to learn something. We're going to learn how everything works in the universe, in 12s. Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, all the summer, spring and summer signs, all the positive half. Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. These are the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 disciples of Jesus, the 12 apostles. A post, these are 12 posts. In astrology, these are called 12 gods, 12 suns, 12 posts. Yeah, Jesus and his 12 posts. Jesus is the sun, guys. It's the intelligence of the astrological chart. It is the intelligence. The moon is the mind. So this is why it's important to know the moon sign. What's your moon sign? My moon sign is Pisces. Hence I have a Piscean mind. But my sun sign is Aries. Hence I have Aryan intelligence. It's cerebral. It is fire, mystical. Aryans are mystical because they have fiery intelligence. They don't have watery intelligence. They don't have earthy, practical intelligence. They don't have airy, mental, intellectual intelligence. They have mystical intelligence. So this is why you need to know the sun sign. That is your spiritual sign. That is your spiritual house. Your moon sign is your mind sign. Moon, mind. Same word, min. That's the minute hand. Minute. Minute. Anyway, minute hand. And hour hand, of course, hour. Look at the word hours. Well, that would be H O R U S. Horus, the sun. Or Saturn. They're always interchangeable. For syncretists, I don't need to repeat these things. For materialists, who'll never get it anyway, the sun and Saturn are interchangeable. All things go back to the sun and Saturn. All things. This is the sun, this is Saturn. And it's also the other five. But first and foremostly, these two archetypes, they are the timekeepers. The sun is the timekeeper par excellence, and so is Saturn par excellence. Chronos. So this is how everything works. Aries is a fire sign. So is Leo. So is Sagittarius. That's where fire happens. Cardinal fire, fixed fire, mutable fire. Taurus is earth. Gemini is air. Cancer is water. Whoops. Fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. These signs here that are on the tropics, they are called cardinal sign. Card means open. Cardo in Latin. Cardo, a hinge to open the door. So you've got Aries is cardinal, Cancer is cardinal, Libra is cardinal, and Capricorn is cardinal. These are the signs. These are the cardinal signs. They have the most strength along the ecliptic. They're called cardinal. So you've got cardinal fire, cardinal water, cardinal air, cardinal earth. So you've got cardinal, fixed, mutable. Cardinal, fixed, mutable. Cardinal, fixed, mutable. Cardinal, fixed, mutable. So what you see is we have 4 elements, 3 modalities. The 3 modalities are cardinal, fixed, mutable. The 4 elements are fire, earth, air, and water, so that every element gets a different modality. Aries is cardinal fire, Taurus is fixed earth, Gemini is mutable air, Cancer is fixed cardinal water, Leo is fixed fire, Virgo is mutable earth, Libra is cardinal air, Scorpio is fixed water, Sagittarius is mutable fire, Capricorn is cardinal earth, Aquarius is fixed air, Pisces is mutable water. So what we have now Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, and we have this one thing, one wave. No particles, guys. They'll never find the God particle because they haven't found the spiritual wave. They're looking for the physical particle, which doesn't exist. It's all waves. This body, it's all waves. Hydrogen, mostly hydrogen, what you're looking at. It's water. It's all waters. Waters above, waters below. The 1 becomes 2, becomes 4, becomes 8, becomes 1 again. So what you have now, there's Jesus and his 12 disciples. There they are. And of course, you've got your cardinals. The tropical points. Very important, very powerful, and the most prominent signs. Then you have your fixed. And these fixed signs are very important because one is a bull, one is a lion, Leo, one is an eagle, Scorpio. The scorpion and the eagle are interchangeable, and one is the man, Aquarius. Have you read in Revelation and Ezekiel and Daniel that God has the face of a man, an eagle, a bull, and a lion? Because it's the fixed signs of the zodiac, second most of importance in the science, the holy science of astrology. And then come all the mutable signs. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, mutable. And because we were in the age of Pisces for 2,000 years, going backwards towards Aquarius, we have been in a mutable cross for 2,000 years, mutating, changing, ambiguous, all over the place, being molded by Rome and Khazarian demons and all of their pseudoscience and false teachers and false prophets. Now we're in the age of Aquarius. Opposite is Leo, the son of God, where the sun rules. And so now we're fixed, and we are being baptized by the water bearer, Aquarius. See, St. John said, "You'll be the one coming will baptize with spirit and fire. I baptize with water." Pisces water. Jupiter, Jesus, the ruler of Pisces, Jupiter, was baptizing us in mutable water for 2,000 years. Now we're getting baptized in spiritual air. And so the elements: fire, earth, air, water, fire, earth, air, water, fire, earth, air, water. And you see, Aries is in the head. You always start here, March the 21st. The year begins at the equinox, March 21st. And that's coming up in 2 weeks, guys. I'm emphasizing this for a reason. When Easter comes, we will be celebrating the resurrection of the Messiah, the sun, because the sun is resurrected from the lower planes. When the sun travels through winter, it suffers, gets crucified here at Christmas time, gets born again on the 25th of December, and must climb and then must pass the waters and go into the promised land, into the head. And then you celebrate the Passover of the Lamb of God, Aries, the Lamb. This is the Passover. The sun has to pass over this line to bring back the kingdom of heaven, the good days, where Sarah and Abraham are. Sarah Abraham, Cerebram, the ram of God. This is why Abraham slayed the ram and why Mithras slays the bull. Abraham slays the ram, Mithras slays the bull, because when the sun goes through a sign, it kills the animal. It crucifies that animal. And so here we have the Father who art in heaven. Aries, the Lamb of God, the cerebrum. Heaven heaved up, head. You see, we have a body which corresponds to earth, and we have a spiritual nature. We have a physical body which is earthly, and we have a spiritual nature which is heavenly, head. That's where the pineal gland is, isn't it? The cerebrum, the cerebellum, the optic thalamus, the pituitary body, the claustrum, the corpus callosum, the hippocampus, Ammon's horn, the ram of God, hippocampus, Ammon's horn, Ammon being the ram. And so, our Father who art in heaven, everything starts at Aries. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. What's the motto of Aries? I am. What did God say to Moses when Moses said, what's your name so I can go down and tell Pharaoh? He said, I am. So what's God's name? I am. Well, the scriptures tell you that's God's name. Nowhere else does it say God's name. It says only when Moses inquired as to God's name, God said, I am. So our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. The kingdom is Taurus, the bull, the earth. Let your will be done on earth as it is in... So, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, I am. Thy will be done. And of course, the will is the messenger, Mercury, the deliverer of the message of God, on earth as it is in heaven. See, the moon rules Cancer and the sun rules Leo, and the moon is the ruler of the earth. She is the sister of the earth, whereas the sun is the Father who art in heaven. Give us our daily bread, Virgo. This is the harvest season, September, every year. She holds the sheath of grain in her hand and extends it to the sun, the Lord. And so we get our bread, our daily bread from Virgo, the Virgin, with her bread basket. Forgive us our trespasses. That's Libra, the scales of justice. Lead us not into temptation. Scorpio, the generative system, the lower nature which is always tempted. Deliver us from the wicked one. Sagittarius with the arrow is delivering all the righteous ones as the animal transforms and sublimates into the human and is delivered from the animal nature. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Mercury, the messenger of Gemini. On earth as it is in heaven. Give us our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses. Deliver us from temptation. Great temptation in Scorpio. That's the motto of Scorpio is I want. Libra, I balance. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Balance. Give us our bread. I analyze. I will, the lion. I feel, Cancer. I think, Gemini. And I have, Taurus. have is also Ave Maria, and the ruler of Taurus is Venus. Who would Venus be? Well, just put an Eve in front of that, an E in front of that, and you have Eve, Ave Maria, to have, to save, the one who saves us, the Queen of Heaven, Radharani. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, I am. Thy will be done on earth, thy kingdom come. The kingdom is Taurus. It's the rock. This sign is called the rock. When Jesus is in Aries, he is the Lamb of God. When the sun is in Taurus, it's the rock. When it's Gemini, it's the twin, Thomas the twin. Thomas and Matthew. Matthew's the twin. It's not Simon, and it's not any other. It's Matthew. It's Thomas and Matthew. You'll see that when I reveal and release my atomic language, atomic theology presentation coming soon. Coming to stores near you, guys. 300 pages of PowerPoint. Atomic language like never before in history. Thy will be done. The will, Mercury, the deliverer of the message, the will of God, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses. Deliver us from the evil one and temptation. And deliver us from the wicked one. The motto of Sagittarius is I see. And so for the rest of the prayer, the next three portions of the prayer, I'll have to pull that up. And so where did I get this information from? Well, I'll give you the book right now. So okay, I've lost it. Okay, I'll get that in a minute. Never mind. And so what we have, remind me to get that book there, Ruthie, please, and the quote, so we can study up on all of these things. Everything, and I mean everything, does this. Everything starts in cardinal fire. It's plasma. Earth is what is solid. Air is what is gas. Water is what is liquid. Everything is plasma, solid, gaseous, and liquid in the universe. But every wave begins here, at this point, at the magnetic point. These are the two magnetic points here, where the toroidal field begins. This is counter space. This is space. Counter space, space. And so everything comes from these points here. The wave begins at this point here, guys. And so cardinal fire will always be met with fixed earth. Fixed earth. Why? Fire cannot, along the ecliptic, as the wave moves through, no other element or modality can meet cardinal fire. The modality of cardinal is the first. Cardinals are the first. Fixed is the middle. Mutable is the last part of everything. So in other words, this is the start of spring, this is the middle of spring where the cross-quarter day happens, and this is the end of spring. Gemini separates. It's a mutable sign. It's a double-bodied sign, so it separates the season and introduces summer. And all the mutable signs do this. They are at the end of the season, to divide it and change the season. And so the wave will start in cardinal fire and be met with fixed earth. Why? Because this explosive energy of cardinal fire must be met with something solid. Fixed earth, that's solid. So plasma meets solidity. And so the process chemically is described by physicians. They do explain how the elements change from one element to another. You see, condensation is one of those terms. So gas becoming water, condensing, becoming dense. And so the same thing happens with plasma and earth. They meet here on the ecliptic. And the energy that is produced here is golden. The sun exalts in Aries. Gold comes from Aries, and iron. Arians are very iron-like. Mars. They fight. They are martial, combative. Hence, Nate Diaz smashing the meat eaters. And by the way, Conor McGregor is Cancerian. Normally the water signs give the fire signs a bit of a go physically, and I would not match a water sign with a fire sign, because water smothers and puts out fire. So if I was going to be a sporting coach, I would not put water signs on fire signs if my team was the fire signs. I would put my fire guys with air guys, and they will beat the air guys. Unfortunately, that's how it works, because the air guys give air to fire, and in their nature they will succeed. So this really shows how great that victory of Nate Diaz is, because usually the Cancerians, they are very, very good fighters, very good with their hands. Cancer rules the hand. You don't want a Cancerian to grab you with their hands. They will squeeze. They have very strong hands. Gemini rules the arms, but Cancer rules the hands. Check out Diodorus of Cyclus, the great astrologer of 2,000 years ago. He explained this. And so this just goes to show how the vegan prevailed over the meat eater, whereas this guy, if he were vegan and this guy were meat, this guy would win, because they're very good fighters. So it just goes to show how important this vegan philosophy is, and how it must return to this planet if we're going to be saved from our stupidity. And so Earth then begets air, mutable air. Mutable air comes from Earth, from solid Earth, because this is the gas that is generated from Earth. And then the air condenses and becomes water. And this is the way the wave generates its electricity. So Aries produces gold, iron, and potassium phosphate. Taurus produces copper, silver, and sodium sulfate. And alchemists know that to transmute those elements into gold, they have to wait for this period in the year. Alchemists of old knew that you can only transmute iron into gold in Aries or Scorpio. You cannot transmute iron into gold in the other signs, because the sun will not allow it. So alchemists wait for the correct time on the ecliptic. They wait for the new moons, and they know the science. This is what I'm working to bring back this alchemical science, so that we can transmute our qualities as well. So we don't have to be Danny the Dunces. We can be Santos the Smarts. And we can be transcendentalists, not materialists, bowing down to demon philosophies like the globe and gravity and all this hocus pocus nonsense. And so all these waves. And so what you're seeing here is how everything unfolds and unfurls and manifests in this world. This world is following obediently the science of the wave. It shall never be different. But in the transcendental world, all of the forms that are produced from this wave are all transcendental forms. And so God, the Creator, Krishna, has a transcendental body with form. So Christ, the Creator, is transcendental in form, but they do have form and personality. God is person, and all the persons that are made, all the individuals that are made from this, are produced from that form. And so what we have is the ecliptic is producing all forms. Firmicus Maternus, one of the greatest astrologers of history, folks, 1600 years ago. In the first place, my dear Lollianus, we must be aware that God, the Creator, copying nature, has made man in the image of the universe, in the image of ecliptic, the wave, the sin wave. A mixture of four elements: fire, water, air, and earth, so that a well-proportioned combination might produce the living being as a divine imitation. With his divine skill, he so composed man that the whole force and essence of the elements is collected in that small body. In this way, he prepared a lodging for the divine spirit which descends from the heavenly soul to maintain the mortal body. Don't talk about this to materialists, guys. They won't understand it. Their intestines are full of corpse. This spirit, though fragile, is nevertheless a likeness of the spirit of the universe. Yes, of the ecliptic. Thus man, a tiny universe, is sustained by the everlasting fiery movement of the 5 planets and the sun and the moon. Okay, guys, so let's have another close look at this wheel, shall we? The wheel of truth. Equator, solstices, that's the symbol for the earth in astrology. That's the symbol for the sun in astrology. That's the moon. That's Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury, Venus, Mars. That's it. That's the 7 Elohim, Cosmocrators, Archons, Potters of Memphis. This is God the Potter making men through this wheel, all from the 4 elements and the 3 modalities, all of them, because electricity is 12. It's a 12ness. Electricity is not just positive and negative. Electricity is a 12ness. And these are the passive parts of electricity, 12. And these are the active parts of electricity, 7. 7 is the diatonic, the diatonic octave of music. 7 notes, 7 colors of the rainbow, 7 chakras, 7 everywhere. It's the septenary, the serpent. This is the serpent of Eve that tempted Eve in the garden. The serpent is the sine wave. And 12 is the other magical number of God. These are the two magical numbers of God. 12 is mind, 7 is physicality. Active, passive. The 12 titans, the 7 Olympians, and they forever do war and battle. And they are forever warring against each other. Electricity is not a two-ness. It's not a four-ness. It's not an eight-ness, an octave. It's a 12-ness. It's a dodeca platonic. It's a dodecahedron molded universe. Hence we have carbon-12, the most common isotope of carbon throughout the universe. 99% of carbon, which is the physical structure of the universe, is carbon-12. And carbon is 666, the mark of the beast. This is the beast. This is how beasts are made. Spirits descend as beasts on this plane through 666, carbon, the isotope 12. Carbon-12, dodecahedron. Everything is 12. It's all a 12-ness. Electricity expresses as 12 on the wave. Everything is fulfilled as a 12-ness. Everything. Dozen. Dozen comes from God, Zen, or Aten. It's another way of saying God. 12. Dozen. Do is God, or two, which is divine, which di means two. Divine means to divide, doesn't it? In two, divide. Divine is divide. And so everything divine is two in the material world. This is the world of Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Cardinal, fixed, mutable. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Creator, preserver, destroyer. This creates, this preserves. The fixed signs preserve, they fix things. And mutable destroys. Mutable destroys, this mutable sign Gemini destroys spring, and Cancer creates summer. Cancer cardinal, Leo fixed, Virgo mutable. Again, mutable, Virgo destroys summer, and cardinal Libra creates autumn. So you have got Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, creator, preserver, destroyer, birth, growth, decay. God, generate, operate, dissolve. Generation, operation, dissolution. Cardinal, fixed, mutable. Electricity is doing this. It generates a wave, it fixes the wave, and dissolves it. All by itself. It does it 4 times. It must do it 4 times throughout the wave. It must do it in this quadrant. It must do it in this quadrant. It must do it in this quadrant and this one. This is the positive quadrant. This is the negative quadrant. This is the neutral quadrant. Neutral. How do you do neutral? And this is the transitory quadrant. And so, as the wave is doing one thing, it's also doing 2 things, and it's also doing 3 things. So now positive and negative become positive and negative here. And neutral and transitory. Transitional energy is here in the winter. The winter is a period of transitory. Spring is a creative, positive sign. Summer is negative. because all the food gets ripened here. And then autumn is neutral, and then winter is a rest period for transition. See the work of Papus, the transcendentalist of the French transcendentalist. And so once we understand the nature of 12 and Jesus and his 12 disciples and why everything is 12, then we will understand the true nature of all things. Magnetism is a 12ness. It's a oneness and a 12ness. And so what we'll find is that all religions understand this. All religions understand this. There's not one religion that doesn't understand this wave.
If I could interject real quickly, Santos.
Sure.
12 actually relates also to the dodecahedron sacred geometrical shape. That just came to mind real quick.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying before. The dodecahedron corresponds with ether. You see, so
Yeah.
So let's do that. So we've got dodecahedron. We've got it's a dodecahedron molded creation. We've got tetra, 4 sides, so that's 12. Do is 2 and deca is 10, so that's 12. That's the dodecahedron. It corresponds to ether. Tetra corresponds to fire, Aries. Hexahedron, 6. Hex is 6, corresponds to earth, Hex. Tetrahedron is here. Hexahedron is here. Octahedron is here. And icosahedron is here. So we've got hexa, octa. We all know that. It's got to be 8. Icosa. Ikosi in Greek. Ikosi means 20. Water has 20 sides to it. And these are the 5 elements. The 5 Platonic solids, or Pythagorean solids. Usually they call it 4 because they exclude the dodecahedron. Usually they exclude it because it's ethereal. It's the spiritual nature which births the physical nature.
It's the causal point of existence.
Yep, it is. It's the ether. In Kabbalah, this is Ketha. And Malkuth is here. And here. Malkuth is Hexa and Icosa. Water and earth, the 2 elements, the feminine elements. This is why the woman is evil. Eve, because it's the wave. And the wave produces waves of water and earth. Water is only attenuated earth. Air is only highly attenuated water. And fire is highly attenuated air. And they are all varying grades of ether. All is ether. But see, the tetrahedron, fire, gets to be called the creator. This is why the creator is a tetragrammaton, Yod He Va He. Jehovah, Yod He Va He, tetragrammaton, it's the tetrahedron. Fire is the creator. I am Jehovah, God is light, fire. I am the fire burning in the sky. How many times does the Bible call God a fire, a burning fire? And Moses saw a burning bush. Because ether and fire, these are the creators. And the receivers are water and earth. And the wave is always doing this. The wave of Eve, the sine wave, the sin of Eve. It's a sinful world. And see, this is why Eve is evil, you see, and Adam, Atum, the wave, is not. Go figure, it's interchangeable, you know. This is why the name of Eve is so dualistic and polarized. In one breath, we venerate her, Eve, and what other words? Venerate, you'll find Eve hiding in many words of praise, but then you'll get venereal. So one minute she's a whore, next minute she's a virgin. Pristine and pure, undefiled. It's because the wave describes both things. Adam is the sinner, Eve's the sinner, it's the wave. Atom is the wave. This is Atum. This is why St. Thomas Day is here, the 21st of December. St. Tom's Day, that's Atom. And this is why this month, according to the Jews, is called Tammuz Day, the month of Tammuz in Cancer, where Ramadan occurs. Ram-Adan, the Ram Adan, yeah, Adan, Ramadan, Tammuz, it's all Tom, Adam, Atom, atomic. And here, good old Kronos exalts Saturn. Let's spell it like this, shall we? Satan, atom, atom. So Tammuz, Tam, Tan, Tom, the sun Dominus here. Remember, Dominus. It's Adam. How do we know that the sun's called Dominus? Well, it's easy. How do you say Sunday in Italian and in Latin and in Spanish? Domingo, Domenica, Dimanche in French, Dimanche, Domenica, Sunday, the sun, Domenica, the day of Dominus the Lord. The sun exalts here, Saturn exalts opposite. Tammuz, Saturn, Atom, Dominus. And just to rub it in a little bit more so that we don't think that we're making things up here, the feast of St. Thomas is almost opposite St. Thomas Day, 21st of December, the solstice, on the 3rd of July in Tammuz. 3rd of July, the feast of St. Thomas. Wow. And where Saturn, Atan, begins the autumn, autumn, the tomb of winter. The sun has to go down to the tomb of winter. This is all Atum. This is all Adam. All is Atum. That's what the Egyptians said. All is Atum. They also said Mazra Adunya. Well, that means Egypt is the mother of the world. Adunya, that's Adam for the world. That's the word for in Egyptian for world, Adunya. And it's also the Hindu Sanskrit word for the world, Dunya, Dun, D-U-N. All is Adun. All is Adon, Aten, Saturn, Dominus, the sun or Saturn. All is atom. Why? Because all is atom. Everything's atomic. It's all atomic waves. Atomic waves. Adam and Eve. Wave is Eve. Ave Maria. Maria means mare, maritime, marine, water. It's all water. It's all hydrogen. All right. How about a bit of what are your thoughts there, Philip? Talk to me, brother. I think that's enough, man. I'm done. What did you learn? Share what you learned with us.
Santos, what about that book?
Oh, that book. Okay. What did you get, Ruthie? You want to share what you
Well, your presentations are amazing, and I can't I can't put them into words. But there are many Roman Catholics and many other religious folks saying the Our Father, and I bet they're waiting to hear to see what the name of this book is so they can run and get it. It's, you know.
Yeah,
But
I know.
I love everything that you're saying makes perfect sense to me, even though I cannot regurgitate it back to you.
This is why I'm so forthright about and so zealous about this science, Ruthie, because the materialists are just polluting the waters. And I feel it's definitely, absolutely my role as leading syncretists today to expose them and put them in their place. That's fine if they want to go on the radio and vomit pseudoscience, but at the same time, I'm going to let the world know that that's what they're doing, because they're trying to make their pseudoscience the ultimate of science, and hence we will never escape materialism, birth, death, cycles, and suffering if we listen to these idiots, because they are just parrot fashion repeating what demons have been teaching us for 500 years to keep us dumbed down, because this science was everywhere in the world once, and we were ascending, and we knew how to ascend, and now we don't know how to ascend anymore. And so if you listen to your Dannies and your Maxes and these guys, they would just keep us. I mean, listen to those guys anyway. After 10 minutes, you want to cut your throat. I've heard this so many times. So many people write to me saying, these guys, you listen to them for 10 minutes and it's all doom and gloom. You want to just cut your throat.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to commit suicide. It's all doom and gloom. Oh, the Zionists are going to get us this. The world is a prison. The taxes are increasing. They're going to vaccinate us. They're going to... What chicken shit, man? With syncretism, everything is positive because we're connected to source. May the source be with you. These morons are dealing with force. May the force be with you. They've been watching too much Star Wars and fantasy. Their heads are stuck up their asses big time, mate. They are fantasy fans. I mean, just check out the Village People cartoon show of Danny Wilton's. I mean, whew. Have a look at that shit, man. Woo! That's cartoons on steroids. And that guy, he's got about 10 boyfriends and they love his stuff, you know, and they support him. And he thinks, you know, he's going to... Pied Piper is leading the blind to where? They'll both fall in the pit, as Jesus said. The blind will lead the blind and both shall fall in the pit. They will never ascend if we listen to these idiots and let them. This is why I must speak like I do. A lot of people don't like it. They think, who are you to do that? Well, I'll tell you who I am. I'm the foremost supporter of syncretism on the planet, in the universe, in history. So I'm going to let people know what syncretism is really all about. It exposes lies and teaches absolute truth. How many times have I heard these morons repeat to me, there is no truth? That's what Max Egan wrote to me 3 or 4 times. There is no truth, Santos. Well, shut the F up then if there's no truth, moron. What's the point of talking if there's no truth?
they claim it's all respect, and that basically leads to relativism. If it's all your perspective
They are
and there's no
relativists.
truth, then exactly, moral relativism. It's sad.
They are disconnected from source, man. They know not the source. They only know force. Yeah, they only know force. That's why the individual that I just mentioned was more than willing to meet me face to face so that we can sort it out gentlemanly like, with fists. Being a Scorpio, of course. With fists. Not with truth, because there is no truth. Let's just punch out, shall we, Santos? I want to smash your face. Yeah. Let me finish with something very interesting from Zen Gardener, guys. I'm very impressed because just the other day Zen Gardener published something detrimental to geocentrism, and now he's obviously, done a turnaround, and that's what's happening all over the planet. All the intelligent ones are turning around and seeing the lies of heliocentrism and the globe, which does not exist, the Santa globe. So I did post on Facebook. Please go to that page and check out this post and share it around, guys. Please get on my Facebook page and share, because I'm connected with the best leading syncretists in the world, and they keep sending me stuff, guys, and I keep publishing it. And if you don't hop on that there, you will not be, you will not be up to date with the absolute truth, not that there is no truth bullshit. You will be up to date with all the truth of syncretism. Here we go. Zen Gardener, guys. Go to his ZenGardener.com. Heliocentrism is dead. There is no stellar parallax. That's what I've been saying all the time. If we're moving at 67,000 miles around the sun, where's the stellar parallax? Scorpio looks the same as it always has for billions of years. Aries looks the same. Every time I go and check the stars, they all look the same. There's no movement. There's no movement at all. There's no stellar parallax. Doesn't exist. It's not happening. Never will. Copernicus was a sun worshipper. I'm going to correct Zen Gardener, though, guys. I'm going to make a correction in the first paragraph. Copernicus was a sun worshipper who had been studying Platonic mysticism, which claimed the sun was the highest and in the observable universe. It was this that drove him in his quest for heliocentrism at the cost of the facts. Now let me correct that. Plato was not a heliocentrist in the sense that we think of heliocentrism, in that he thought that the Earth spun around the sun, orbited around the sun. He was referring to the sun and all suns as being the rulers of solar systems. The sun is the ruler, but the Earth is the center. All suns are rulers of their solar systems. Helios, the sun, is the ruler of the solar system. Do not take that away from the sun. He is Lord and ruler. Jesus, Krishna, Radharani. He is all the archetypes in one. The sun encompasses all the archetypes and is the ruler, bar none, of the solar system. So that's what Zen Gardener fails to understand. The buffoonery of heliocentrism, as we know it, comes from his dumbass student Aristotle. And this is why Justinian closed down the Neoplatonic schools in the 6th century and favored the Aristotelian, so that we could all be buffoons and idiots and meat eaters and swine eaters and bum eaters. Okay, so let's correct that, and please never attribute stupidity to Plato or Pythagoras or any transcendentalist, a Hermetist, a Kabbalist, a good Kabbalist, or a Neoplatonist. Please. Let's get this right, guys, because there's a lot of guys doing harm to the Neoplatonic spiritualist school by saying stupid things like this. Let me continue now. I'll try not to get distracted. Heliocentrism, the long-standing belief that the Earth revolves around the Sun, is dead. The key evidence for it, stellar parallax, does not exist. The implications of this stunning fact are enormous. Not only does this end heliocentrism as a viable system, it also ends our ideas about the distance of the stars. Tycho Brahe has been right all the time. As I've ever said, the Sun revolves around the Earth, and the Earth is the center of the universe. Yes, it's the center. The Sun is the ruler. I digress. Do you not believe me? I don't blame you. The implications are enormous. But allow me to explain what is going on. Historical content, subheading. Throughout antiquity and the medieval era, geocentrism had been the norm. Ptolemy was the great sage of this idea, and his system, which claimed that all celestial bodies circle the Earth, was generally accepted as the standard. However, already in antiquity, astronomers were starting to have doubts, as they were suspecting the planets, Mercury and Venus in particular, were circling the Sun. By the time of the late Middle Ages, it was becoming clear that the planets were indeed circling the Sun, and that the Ptolemaic system needed a serious update to accommodate this. Then Copernicus published his famous Revolutionibus in 1543, describing the orbit of the planets around the Sun. However, Copernicus did a whole lot more than just that. He also put the Earth in an orbit around the Sun. Idiot. And this was a wild leap of the imagination, which was absolutely not warranted with the available evidence. In the first place, astronomy had always seen the planets as simply wandering stars, luminescent spheres on the firmament, only different from the other stars because they were moving, unlike the others. And I'll put a note in there, the others are the fixed stars of the firmament. The 5 stars move: Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, Venus, Mars. They are the wandering, moving stars. Continuing. To suddenly claim the Earth was just another planet was not at all uncontroversial, and it still isn't. Secondly, we should be witnessing stellar parallax when the Earth circles the Sun. If the Earth is orbiting the Sun, then this should show in relative movements of closer and further away stars. Parallax is what we see when we drive by a landscape and closer by objects seem to be moving more quickly than those further off. Have you ever been in a train and you see the trees that are close are moving faster than the mountains behind? Oh yes, that's parallax. Stellar parallax, then, should result from the movement of the Earth. Closer stars should show relative motion compared to further away stars. And this was simply not being observed at the time. However, Copernicus and his followers explained this away by saying that the stars were simply too far away for the effect to be observed. In doing so, they also laid the foundation for the insane size of the universe that science nowadays claims. The universe has been ballooning immensely since the days of Copernicus. It is for these reasons that Tycho Brahe published An Introduction to the New Astronomy in 1588, proposing a geocentric Neo-Ptolemaic system where the Sun revolves around the Earth and the planets around the Sun. The Tychonic system is simpler than the Copernican one and definitely fitted the observable evidence of the time better than heliocentrism, and still does today. By explaining away the lack of stellar parallax, Copernicus was in fact not in accordance with Occam's razor, which claims that the simplest solution is usually best. However, the Tychonic and Copernican systems would compete with each other for centuries. The reason for this is mainly that, for some mysterious reason of their own, Kepler, Galileo, and Newton would all three support heliocentrism. Yeah, because they were equally as dumbed down as Copernicus. All dunces, all of them. Continuing. As a result, their fame based on their own achievements would rub off on heliocentrist credibility. Quotes are mine. Quotation marks. Credibility. Heliocentrist credibility. I like that. Good on you, Zen. And this was not warranted because Kepler's elliptical orbits, Galileo's observations of Jupiter's moons, and Newton's laws of gravity fit equally well with the Tychonic as well as Copernican system. This point is really vital to understand the history of the heliocentric deception. Stellar parallax, or, this is a new subheading now, stellar parallax, or. Then, in 1833, something remarkable happened. Friedrich Bessel, for the first time, observed star movement. Shortly thereafter, a number of stars were observed moving in the firmament relatively to other stars. This in itself was an interesting achievement, a testament to improving telescopes. However, Bessel and his contemporaries quickly jumped to the conclusion that this must be the stellar parallax that they had been looking for ever since Copernicus, no less than 3 centuries. But this was most likely a premature conclusion. After all, parallax is the seeming movement of closer by stars relatively to further away ones as a result of the Earth orbiting the Sun. The fact is that the star movements that Bessel and colleagues observed might have been caused by other reasons. However, by the authority of their great predecessors, astronomers and physicists, were heavily invested in heliocentrism, even though the Tychonic system was, by all available evidence, still the preferable system. As a result, Bessel's observations were quickly jumped upon as having finally settled the issue, and everybody rested assured heliocentrism was a fact. This led to some horrible disasters later on, most notably the Michelson-Morley catastrophe, culminating in the mystique of relativity and a wasted century for astronomy. We'll come back to that later. Meanwhile, stellar parallax was considered a given, and ever since mainly a proud member of science's Hall of Fame. However, since these days, astronomers have been faithfully logging the movements of the firmament of hundreds of thousands of stars. And now comes the great kicker. It transpires that about half of the logged stars show parallax, or any rate of movement, but about half of each move in opposite directions. I'll repeat that. But about half of each moved in opposite directions. This is called positive and negative stellar parallax. However, if we are indeed witnessing stellar parallax as a result of the Earth's orbit around the Sun, all parallax should be in the same direction. As a result, we must conclude that the movement of the stars that we have been measuring ever since Bessel does not validate Copernican heliocentrism, but is consistent with Brayer's system. Furthermore, we cannot call these stars' movements parallax at all, because if these movements were caused by moves in the firmament, the result of the stars spinning around the Earth, or vice versa, all movement should still be in the same direction. We must conclude that the movement that we are seeing is caused by other factors and cannot be called stellar parallax at all. And this also means that our calculations of the distance of the stars are rubbish too. And this brings us full circle because it was Copernicus himself who began the insane blowing up of the universe based on nothing but speculation. Final subheading, conclusion. We have been had. We have been had on a scale that is truly hard to fathom. The scientific community is guilty of covering up an immense scandal that hundreds of thousands of confirmed star movements refute stellar parallax, and therefore Copernican heliocentrism. Nobody dares to touch this stuff, but while it sits there sticking out like a very sore thumb, indeed, I would say dog's nuts, dog's testicles, dog's balls, to be more frank. This is far from the only example of a huge cover-up. The fact is that our entire science-based world is a fraud of truly monumental proportions. Here is another example before we close off. While earthbound observation of the sun can probably never conclusively show whether the sun circles the earth or vice versa, NASA should theoretically be able to do just that. Presumably, they are scouting the solar system as we speak, and it should be a piece of cake to have one of their satellites monitor the sun's orbit or the Earth's. They would only need a few months' worth of data to prove the point. Why do you reckon this has not happened? Perhaps you might want to ask Johan or Max or any other one of those Danny Dunces guys. The implications of the shattering of such a paradigm are monumentous, and we leave the reader to ponder both them and the here presented evidence. So there you go, guys. Omnia vincit veritas. Please, please, folks, follow transcendental science, not pseudoscience. It's time to vanquish the demons. Please, let us be earnest. Let us be sincere of heart. Let us use the intelligence that we have, whether you have Scorpio intelligence or Arian intelligence or Gemini intelligence. Use the mind that we have, whether you have Piscean mentality or Virgoan mentality. We can all do it. And Ruthie, as for the book that I was quoting from,
yes,
yeah, is called The Astrology